And now, the time fight fans all across the globe have been waiting for patiently with bated breath. It's the main card with your man, the voice. As always, in the opposite corner, my mano y mano, my verbal sparring partner, Philly's finest, but not Superman. Will just Ruffin.
Every week, every time we come back, it's some kind of hate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Smoke the Clock and we back. I'm back with the greatest hater of all time, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who's always biting my style. But this time he decided to be himself, the voice. How you doing, voice?
Confused. Very confused.
You should be confused from biting my style. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another amazing episode of the main card where we provide you the best in all combat sport, giving you some dope analysis, our personal thoughts, and everything else in between. But of course, we got to get to some big things this week. We got a major fight, but voice, we got some breaking news we need to get to. You ready?
All right, well, yes, sir. Let's dive right
Let's get into these KOs and low blows. Ladies and gentlemen, Money May is back. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but Floyd Mayweather recently announced that after his exhibition with Mike Tyson to take place on April 25th of 2026, he is planning on coming out of retirement. And his first opponent, Manny Pacquiao, which Netflix recently announced is going to be taking place on Netflix September 19th of 2026. Now, we've all had our thoughts here on the main card about Floyd Mayweather, but this is big news. 50-0, you're coming back after what, maybe 9 years, even though he's taking some exhibition fights. Voice, what is your thoughts on the return of Money Mayweather?
The return of Money Mayweather, my thought is money. That's my thought. There have been rumors for years about Mayweather's financial situation. Tank Davis said that he was being held hostage in the Middle East at one point for some unpaid debts. And then he sues Showtime for $340 million. And now he's going back into professional fighting. I see him driving around with $20 million allegedly in his vehicles and flying with it and all this other stuff. And that's a lot of money. But if you owe $100 million, it's not really that much money. Or I should say it pales in comparison to what you owe. That's what I think. He needs money. Pacquiao needs money. Old fighters need money. And how do you make money when you're an old fighter? You fight again. You try to rekindle the magic. Now, fortunately for them, they have someone in Netflix who's willing to put the money forth. It's interesting to me that this fight is also taking place in the Sphere. And I don't think there's been any other athletic event that took place at that specific venue since the UFC's card, their Noche card there a couple years back. So that in and of itself is very interesting. Mayweather's coming back on one of his fight days, Mexican Independence Day, September 19th. So it's money. And with it being on Netflix, it makes sense. It's a platform that the vast majority of the world has. So why not have it on there? Is it something that we're going to tune into? Absolutely. Would we do this if this were pay-per-view? Absolutely not. At least I wouldn't. I'm not paying my money for it. Would I get it? Or I should say, would I go to a friend's house who has nefarious means to watch it? Yeah, I would. But I'm not paying for it. So the fact that it's set up the way that it is wonderful. And I was talking to our leader, our fearless leader, who's supposed to be our producer, but we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, we talked about this fight, and he was like, man, it's like, this is changing. You know, Netflix is changing everything. I was like, no, they're not. So everything is cyclical. Back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s, you saw fights primarily on ABC Wide World of Sports or some other linear platform. Then it went behind the paywall with the pay channels like HBO. Then Showtime got in the mix. Then pay-per-view came in. Now the streaming platforms are back, and we're back at a place where the channels are carrying the weight versus the fans. And as somebody who is currently paying that $50 a month for the Zone, I'm glad to have something on Netflix.
Listen, I don't know what to make of it. I know the first thing that I thought as soon as it came out was, and I wish we could get past the copyright, because I would tell you play Deion Sanders Must Be the Money, because this is the only reason. Like, Floyd, you're 50-0, big dog. What are we doing? Now, I listen, I don't know how many fights Floyd going to take. Maybe it's just going to be, the exhibition in this one, because he's going to make all the money he need to make. But, I'm, praying his brother gets done what he needs to get done, because there's no reason for this to be happening. Okay. And I hope it's not that he's broke, because as someone who has learned to stretch $20 over 2 weeks when I was younger, or live off peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I can't relate. So we'll get more into that within the next couple of weeks. But make sure y'all tune in. If there's any more breaking news, we'll definitely be sharing that here in KOs and low blows, just to get you started. But boys, that wasn't the only return. We recently saw the return of King Ry, as he and Mario Barrios left us with one of those aftermath that kind of hits you harder than when you sit. Now, Garcia defeated Barrios by 12-round unanimous decision with scores of 119-108, 120-107, and 118-109 to win the WBC welterweight title. Now, Barrios, he made him earn every inch of it. But voice, now that the whole division has kind of been recalibrated around what Ryan Garcia just did, where do we go from here? And is King Ry back to being a main contender?
Well, I would say, as far as Ryan Garcia's coronation, it was a beautiful thing, because that's what it was. It was his coronation. He's always been linked to big fights, but he's never been a champion. He may have held some ancillary belts, but never the real thing. And not only is he holding it, it's not a situation where he was elevated into it. He stepped into the ring and elevated himself by showing the world what he can do when he is focused, when he is dedicated, and when he is on his game. Now, where does he go from here? That is the question. There are so many different ways this could go. He called out Shakur Stevenson while he was in the ring, and the last thing I saw was him, being Ryan, saying, Shakur, I want your belt. I'm coming down to 140. Forget the rehydration clause. Forget the catch weight. I'm coming for your crown. And Shakur was like, bet, let's run it. So you have that on the table. You also have Rolly Romero, who beat him recently to win his own version of this title. A unification bout between the two will be huge business. Rolly coming in with the knowledge of having beaten him in sparring and things. You have Ryan coming in with this newfound vigor. That will do huge numbers, but the fight that really, really needs to happen, the fight with all the storylines, the fight that is perfect right now, is Lewis Crocker. Because if he fights Lewis Crocker and he gets another belt and then goes on, and then that'd be great. No, I'm playing, not Lewis Crocker. Although if he fought Lewis Crocker and Haney were able to defeat Rolly and they were able to unify all together for all the belts, yeah, that would be huge. But again, you strike while the lightning is hot, and there is no time like the present as far as things being hot. You have Haney coming in off of a masterful performance, showing that he was back by defeating who everyone thought was going to knock him out in I was going to say Gary Antoine Russell. That is not the fighter. Lord, I can't think of his name right now, but Junior, because he just got rid of his dad who was senior. Brian Norman Jr., that's his name. Coming in after doing that to Brian Norman Jr. Ryan, after coming off of that horrible performance over Rolly, doing what he did against Barrios, which honestly is what he was supposed to do. I'm not going to. I want to give him his props, Ben Ryan, for doing what he did, but let's be real. He fought the man who went to a draw with Barroso, went to a draw with an old, decrepit, coming off the couch, Pacquiao, after not fighting 4 years. Can't beat him. Ryan, you're supposed to walk over him. But he did what he was supposed to do, and that was great, and it was beautiful. But those two, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, man, sign me up. Please take my money. Here it is. As long as you're already getting it, that's probably where it's going to be anyway, but you got my money already. Let's go.
I mean, there's a number of fights that can make it. I won't say it's good to see Ryan back in the ring. It's great for boxing, but now it creates this whole thing of, you know, who truly belongs where and what. And Ryan is back to being himself as the WBC welterweight champion. So we'll see what happens. It feels like a mess. It feels like a complete mess, but I feel like that's how you like it. So we're going to run with it.
Well, I'll say this. It's not a mess. It's a beautiful situation. Forever, welterweight has been the glamour division in boxing. In recent history, that has not been the case. You couldn't name the champions. It was just like something that was there. Ever since Bud left, there was a huge void at 147. For it to be back with nearly all of the major players in it, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
There you have it. You heard it here from the voice. Now, make sure you all continue to stay with us if there's any breaking news. Of course, you're going to find that here on the main card in KOs and Low Blows, man. We got some great things. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got another unification bout. And on the road to WrestleMania, let's check that chaos in the second city. We'll be right back, man, the main card.
All right, fight fans, we are back. And I won't say better than before, but pretty doggone close. It's the main card with your man, The Voice, and Wildress Ruffin. And because of the importance of this card, we are moving wrestling into the main position. And at Elimination Chamber, on the road to WrestleMania, you have some intriguing storylines, specifically the ones that are listed on this image. Now, the WWE loves to have hometown wrestlers lose. And at Elimination Chamber, taking place in Chicago, Illinois, you have two wrestlers who call that city home. Now, the storyline between CM Punk and Finn Balor has legs, and it's really been gaining a lot of momentum and a lot of traction, where the storyline between the man and AJ Lee is pretty stable. In this Windy City showdown, what's the most likely outcome? Do we have AJ Lee winning or CM Punk losing?
That's a good question. I'm gonna be honest, as a wrestling fan, I love what CM Punk is doing currently. I love the fighting champion that he's been. This has been a great run. But I wouldn't be mad if they had Finn Balor go over at Elimination Chamber for a few different reasons. Now, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, you know, I ain't gonna say it's stale, but it's been so far in between that you don't know what's gonna happen. I think the perfect payout here would be for AJ to win that Intercontinental title going into WrestleMania to create an even bigger storyline amongst everyone, especially with the fact that Maxine Dupree actually may be out due to a concussion. We're waiting to hear more on that. But CM Punk versus Finn Balor can literally set the tone for WrestleMania in the perfect way. Hear me out. CM Punk versus Finn Balor, Elimination Chamber. Finn Balor goes over to the surprise of so many, because you know WWE doesn't like to make a lot of those moves, but it's overdue. Finn Balor is a superstar that many of us who have been fans of his from New Japan Pro Wrestling to NXT, he should have been champion more times over. Instead, Finn Balor has kind of gotten the short end of the stick a lot of times, and to see him go over, even if for a limited period of time, would be amazing. Me personally, I love to see Finn go over CM Punk at Elimination Chamber, and somehow it ends up being a three-way match between him, Roman, and Punk for the title. The reason being, Finn Balor has had his chance against Roman Reigns before, and we saw the screw job that Roman did when he was the Demon. We also saw what happened last time Finn Balor actually won the championship, and he was hurt immediately. So this makes for a great storyline. It makes for a way for CM Punk to scramble to again be a part of that main event, and it adds even more spice to an already hate-filled matchup between Punk and Roman.
Okay. Moving on to the Elimination Chamber itself. This Elimination Chamber on the men's side sets up the opponent for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Now, when I think of the Elimination Chamber, it puts me in the mind of a dystopian style gladiator games. You have two competitors in the ring while four others wait in isolation, each sealed in their own containment pod, watching, listening, hungering at fixed intervals. The pods unlock, unleashing another challenger into the chaos. One by one, the chamber's empty. Unlike the games in the Coliseum, they don't compete until the death, but until they're dominated. Any combatant who's forced to submit or pinned to the ground is sent packing. The competitor who emerges victorious earns not only the satisfaction of the victory, but a shot at the championship in the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. Now, on the men's side, we already talked about the fact that standing there waiting is none other than Drew McIntyre. In the chamber, you have Randy Orton, 14-time champion. LA Knight, who's had his run with championships. Cody Rhodes, who just had the championship not too long ago and is being favored to win the Elimination Chamber. Javon Evans, who's had, some championship runs in NXT, as well as Trick Williams having that same kind of resume. And then you have the wild card, the super wild card, the person who wasn't supposed to be there in the first place, Jay Uso, getting in off of an injury to, and I'm pausing because I don't want to say the wrong Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Good night. Bronson Reed. Braun Strowman. LeBron James. Bronny James. Bron. The Bronny-ness. They need to come on with some different names. Creative. If you bring another Bron in the mix, we're going to have some problems. But Jay Uso. All that to say, Jay Uso got in on a technicality. People feel like Cody and Drew is played out. What can they do being the creative in the WWE to refresh the storyline?
This is another opportunity to kind of throw everything to the water and create a multi-man opportunity match here, a la in the same manner of like WrestleMania 2000. So when you're looking at what Drew McIntyre is doing, you kind of feel like they're kind of leading toward that multi-man match now. He's attacking any and everybody, and he's going through it. So we can already, so just to give you his thought, we can already count out Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. Okay, Javon Evans and Trick Williams will have their time. As great as Jay is, Jay's probably going to end up having a tag team title match at WrestleMania. But the Jey Uso hate needs to stop, okay? Because that's just y'all just not knowing what to do with yourselves because the boy bringing in numbers, okay? So now what do you have left? You have Randy Orton. You have Cody Rhodes. Then you do have LA Knight, which LA Knight could also appear within that match. But here's where you throw the wrench in. Sami Zayn, who should have beat Cody Rhodes thanks to Drew McIntyre. Jacob Fatu, who's been beefing with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre like there's no tomorrow. Bring them all together in a match. That way it freshens up and people don't have to just see Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. And what you allow here is you allow the opportunity to put the title on someone fresh. LA Knight, of course, is overdue for a lot. Now, he doesn't have a whole lot going for him now, but these are the WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber is usually the moments where those type of surprises happen. My choice, Sami Zayn. If you look at the storyline right now, Sami looks like he just can't win the big one. And then him and Cody Rhodes are going back and forth. Cody made the statements that he made. I personally think it's overdue for Cody to be turned in heel. We have Sami hit the haluva kick on Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn is your new WWE World Champion, WWE Champion at WrestleMania. We have an amazing storyline heading into SummerSlam with Cody winning that title back by no means necessary. There you have it. It's time to freshen up the product with new people coming in and new things happening. There's some OGs who deserve that shine. And what better way than to see a Finn Balor and a Sami Zayn getting their just due after all they've given us in NXT and WWE. That's my take.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That is a wonderful take. Now it's ladies' night, or at least time to give some shine to the ladies. In the Elimination Chamber match for the fairer sex, we have Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez, who got in on the most recent episode of Raw. Now, there's talk of Rhea taking the title back from Jade. Now, that's because Rhea is solid, and she's a solid champion. She's someone that people are behind whether she has a belt or not. So it makes sense to do that. But I want to know, which wrestler makes the best dance partner for Jade?
I mean, at this point, now Alexa Bliss to me is always a dark horse because she's amazing in the ring, and I think she's overdue. But if we're being honest, Raquel Rodriguez is the best way to go. Rhea Ripley has been great, but a lot of people feel like, much like they feel like Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, is that she's oversaturated in the World Championship picture. What you can do is you can have Raquel Rodriguez win, have her go to WrestleMania, and somehow have the Judgment Day interfere in the match to create more of a buzz. But her and Jade would be the best here. Now, I know that this is not something that everybody wants to see. However, you have to take into account originally the plans, I believe, were for Bianca Belair. However, she recently had surgery on her finger, so she's not returning soon. Naomi is currently out with child. So you only have too many opportunities to give someone an opportunity in this Elimination Chamber match. I personally thought it was going to be Charlotte Flair going in, but Kiana James got that impressive win and that shocking win over so many people, over her and Nia Jax. So there's that. So while Rhea Ripley is probably the easy pick, I would personally say Raquel Rodriguez will be the answer for that.
Okay. Now, to me, the wrestler with some of the most heat, at least before James and Raquel Rodriguez were selected, or I should say, won their matches to get into Elimination Chamber, was Tiffany Stratton. How would those two fare against each other, being Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton? Like, what kind of match could we expect to see if they tangled?
We've seen that match before. We saw Tiffany Stratton surprisingly hold on to the title. I believe that was last year at SummerSlam. That's not a match people want to see. While Tiffany Stratton is athletic, she does not right now get over with the crowd enough for people to have as much enjoyment of the possibility of the match. Now, the match that people will probably be wanting to see the most is going to be Rhea Ripley. Folks love Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill have not been in the ring in a one-on-one setting yet. However, with the way that Raquel Rodriguez has been moving, I would not be surprised if WWE is ready to pull the trigger on that and put her over on that, and maybe possibly have Rhea and Raquel begin to go head-to-head at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So there's a number of ways you can go. I personally think that this women's Elimination Chamber match is not as star-studded as many would feel. Because when you're looking at the opportunity to go against Jade, there's not too many matchups you want to see. She's already faced Asuka. Alexa Bliss may not be the sexy pick because they haven't had too many conversations there. Although, you know, Alexa could get a beat down at WrestleMania, and then that sets it up for Jade and Charlotte, since Alexa and Charlotte are best friends or whatever. But between the two, it's probably going to be between Raquel and Rhea. And if I had a choice, I would go fresh blood and go Raquel Rodriguez.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you for that insight. Know that you're going to get a video on TikTok and other platforms after Elimination Chamber, wrapping up all of the wonderful things that happened and everything that he got right. Just make sure that you're following Mr. Teddy Farrow on all platforms for all of the information that you would ever want and need regarding the world of pro wrestling.
Definitely. Now, that's one championship we're going to be talking about here on the main card. The other is a unification match. Now, Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete and Eduardo Sugar Nunez, they're walking into that Glendale Desert night carrying something voice heavier than belts, rankings, and resumes. They're carrying expectations. Now, that kind of makes an arena feel like it's holding its breath, because when you match a 3-division champ whose engine has coughed up little smoke lately with a man who has 29 knockouts in 30 fights, you ain't getting just a boxing match. That sounds like a collision. Now, let Nunez tell it. He's been telling anyone who's willing to listen exactly what kind of night he intends to make it. He said, "You'll see gunpowder in a fight that ends in a knockout." And that's not a prediction. He's promising for a man who's never needed the judges' table to validate his work, and he's been discovered, groomed, and positioned for this moment. Now, he's treating it like only, the moments matter. He said, "I put all the hard work to ensure that this will be a great fight for the fans." The only issue is, across from him, voice, Vaquero, he's unpredictable, he's unorthodox, and he is dangerous even when the gears grind for him. Now, this is the same man who chased the 4th division only to be denied by Denny Burchak. Now, the same Navarrete who walked away with a technical decision over Charlie Suarez after a replay review that felt a little bit more like a coin flip than clarity. The same Navarrete who knows the whispers. Is he slipping? Is he right? Or is he just vulnerable? Now, Nunez has said that he won't take that bait. He said, "I think he's a great champion and a great warrior." So he's refusing to make mistake opportunities as disrespect. But he also made it clear he's not here to admire the view. He's trying to take something. He said, "I don't believe this fight goes 12 rounds. And to be completely honest with you, I don't see myself losing." And that's where it gets real. because Navarette doesn't do climb. He doesn't do safe. He's not boring. And Nunez, he hasn't really done a lot of collisions. So voice, it's 2 men, 2 belts, 1 arena, 1 opportunity. Neither one of these men have tasted the mat. So with everything we know about them two and that fire that they're promising, what are we to make of this bout coming up?
What we make of the bout is that right now, though it hasn't happened, on paper, it is poised to be fight of the year. Why is that? You have 2 for real Mexicans fighting Mexican style, somewhat. More so Nunez than Navarette, but they both like to come forward. Again, Nunez, he is a traditional Mexican fighter, maybe without the jab, because all he does is moves in and then stands toe-to-toe with you, forehead to forehead, throwing shots the whole time, trying to break you down. The thing that bodes well for him is that though Navarette has not tasted the canvas, he's tasted a lot of other things as far as food is concerned, which is the reason that he went to 135 thinking, hey, you know, I've got this little dad bod belly going on in my shirt. You know, I got it tucked in. I got the little pouch, so I might as well fly my trade at 135. But he was too slow at 135 and did not have what it took to win. He didn't have what it took to beat Baranchek. Baranchek went on to fight Keyshawn, which if he continues to do the things that he has been doing, will likely be a Hall of Famer. So no shade there in losing to Baranchek. But again, he lost. So he really, being Navarette, really needs to put his stamp on things. You talked about the fact that Navarette's last fight, he lost. I mean, let's be real. He lost. It was stopped due to a cut. That cut was not from a headbutt, but from a feet arm being the fist of his opponent. So you're coming in off of a loss, 2 losses really, because you lost to Baranchek. You were able to keep your belt on a technicality in your last bout. The rumors are out there about your slippage. You can't go to 135. You have to do the thing. Now, fortunately, as you spoke about, Navarette punches off speed. He comes at different angles. He does a number of wonderful things. And he said in a interview with Nunez, like, how are you going to deal with my pressure? Like that's the thing. I am going to be in your face, putting these paws on you as you coming in with no jab. I'm gonna be there sticking you with that jab, coming from different angles, hitting you with different things. How are you going to deal with it? My question to Navarette will be, how are you going to deal with the body shots of Nunez throws? Because one thing he loves to do when he gets inside is rip to the body. And that's the part of Navarette that seems to be most vulnerable. Can he withstand all that barrage of punches to the pouch where he keeps his beans and rice? Or will that betray him and allow the surging Nunez, who knows, I'm on the come up, I'm not there yet, I beat you, and that will help to establish things. He's very knowledgeable of his place and very knowledgeable of the place of Navarette. He gives him the credit that he deserves as being a great in the sport, as being someone who carries the flag of La Raza. But Sugar wants to be that May and September fighter that so many people are looking to replace the Canelos and the Mayweathers now that they have moved on, even though they're still coming back. But they're looking to replace them as the fighter to watch on those days.
Man, it's definitely a great analysis. Even if you're not not hugely familiar with either one of these fighters, the fact that they're coming in with 32 KOs and 27 KOs respectively, and neither have tasted the mat or tasted the knockout, it creates some excitement because they're both looking to drop those bombs. So definitely make sure that y'all follow the voice while he'll be tuning into that. That's actually going to be on the zone also, in case you want to follow along and watch the fight also. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Any aftermath, we'll be talking about that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is what we have for you on the main card today. However, we have something else that we always want to provide to you that we call final fights. Now, while the main card is your steak, your main entree, final fights are your mashed potatoes, your macaroni and cheese, your yams. These are the sides that you also want to pay attention to, because though they didn't make the main card, they're just as important, and Voice is going to provide those for you. Voice, tell us what final fights we should be looking forward to this week.
First off, we have Emiliano Vargas, fresh off his Super Bowl appearance with Bad Bunny. He'll be back in action on this weekend on the undercard of the Navarette and Nunez fight card. Now, speaking of all the Latin power that we experienced at that Super Bowl halftime show, the UFC is in Mexico, at least at the time of recording. With everything that's going on there, I don't know if anything will happen that causes them to postpone that fight card. Hopefully not. But if things go as planned, it's headlined by Mexico's own assassin baby, Brandon Moreno, taking on Leonard Cavanaugh, as well as a host of other Mexican and Latin American fighters filling out that card. As far as Elimination Chamber is concerned, what are some under the radar matches that we should be looking for?
I mean, that's WWE has gone through this 4-fight process, of course, just to maintain. But I believe that the bout of the night easily is going to be CM Punk versus Finn Balor. I think there's going to be some surprises there. It's a lot to look forward to. But if that doesn't satisfy your appetite, seeing Javon Evans and Trick Williams in their first major PLE of Elimination Chamber, seeing them work in that chamber is going to be amazing stuff. So make sure that y'all tune into that also, and place your bets, because as Voice stated, after the PLE, I'll be providing a full synopsis and the possibility of where we go. And lately, I ain't been wrong. Shout out to John Cena and his tap out.
All right. Well, that is a perfect place to put a bow on things for today. Thank you for tuning into the main card. As I stated last week, that whenever it's a big fight week, you can expect to see us providing you with information on all the fights, all the upcoming events, whether it's a PLE, a big time boxing match, or a major MMA promotion. We'll be here sharing what to look for, why, and who should come out on top. Make sure that you're subscribing to MTMV Sports on YouTube and wherever you can find us, because we continue to put out excellent content, whether it be not the same sports show, or I'm coming like you saying Miss Marvin, but it's the Throne Room. The Throne Room, full 94, red and bold. Rick Sincere with his dream coverage. You name it, we've got it for you, and some interviews that you might not be expecting. So make sure that you are following us as we give you all this good sports information, and make sure you tell a friend. Friends don't let friends stay in the dark. So share this information with others, comment, so that we can be at that 10,000 level of subscribers. You will be the reason that we get there, and we're counting on it.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another week of the main card, man. We do this for y'all. We love y'all. Voice, take us out.
Until next time, fight the good fight.
What's going on, family? It's your man, Wildress.
And it's your man, the myth, the legend, the voice.
And you just finished watching the main card on the MTMV network.
Yeah, for more great shows just like this, smash the subscribe button.